Welcome to this sports showcase event on Harford TV. I'm Don Morrison. Tonight we're at Edgewood High School. It's the Edgewood Rams hosting the Joppatowne Mariners in a boys soccer match, a Susquehanna Division match. You see the records, the Mariners, Ray Ruse 2-7, Edgewood 3-8. Neither team having a tremendously successful year, but talking to the Edgewood coaches, they're encouraged. 1 win 2 years ago, 2 wins last year, 3 wins this year. That's moving in the right direction.
Well, we see some good shot of some fans here, some people that I know in that crowd. The Edgewood coach said that they had a lot of really close losses recently. So he said, the record isn't as indicative of our success. I happened to talk to the Joppatowne coach. Ironically, he said the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, he said their excuse was big mistakes. They were in the game, then a big mistake on defense, and they're trying to clean that up. So I expect a close game tonight.
Yeah, I do too. They played each other in a preseason game, a scrimmage, tied 1-1. So if you go by that, but of course that was 2 months ago.
Yes.
And a team tends to evolve over that 2-month period of time. This being the last week of the regular season, also being senior night at Edgewood. I always ask you, Ray, on senior night, a lot of nostalgia for the 4 seniors of Edgewood.
Yes.
What are you thinking if you're a senior, knowing this is the last time you're going to be coming onto this field on your home field?
It's very sentimental. It's tough. You're if you get a chance to think about it, you're thinking, how did this time fly by?
Yeah.
And you hope that these young men are playing a winter or spring sport as well, and they get some more chances. But moms, dads, sisters, grandparents here cheering them on with a little tear in their eye, thinking the same thing you just said.
Yep, you're seeing the Edgewood lineup being introduced. Awa Ashamushi, Dante Collins, Ezekiel Conantang, and Luke Sheffy. They are the seniors for the Edgewood Rams. Other starters, Nao Matthews, number 21, number 1, Sebastian Ayala. Andres Amaya, number 2. Luke Sheffy, we mentioned, captain of the team, senior number 9. Ayo Awamushi, number 8. Number 19 is Dante Collins, Jr. Number 14 is Marlon Davis. Jesus Hernandez, number 15. Ezekiel Kranting is number 17. Frank Fopa, number 25. And the goalie, Caden Kessner, sophomore. Ray, you had a chance to talk to his dad, who's the assistant coach. Here's a guy who wants to play goal, who's never played anything but goal, and likes to be in the goal.
Yes. And his older brother, JJ, played for me in club soccer with my son, and his dad helped us once in a while. And he told us that he got back into coaching because they called him refereeing a game, and they said, hey, why don't you come coach with us? And he said, okay, my son's going to be playing there. I think I will do so.
And there you see the Edgewood Rams and the Joppatowne Mariners getting ready to honor our country. Justin Craig, number 10, number 6, Michael Portillo Martinez, and now honoring our country. Here is our national anthem. We're all set to go now. We're giving you that Joppatowne lineup. Dressed in white tonight, the visiting white, Justin Craig, number 10, and Michael Portilla Martinez. They are the strikers. Dylan Jones, number 22, Jason Pena, number 13, Brian Perdomo Sanchez, number 7, and number 2, Adula Joby, a sophomore, number 2, as we said. That's the midfield. On the defense, Dayu Ojo, number 20, Kyle Coons, number 9, Jake Steinmiller, number 18, Ryan Kreiner, number 15, and then the goalie is C.J. Madera, Now, I've noticed that both goalies, Ray, are sophomores. Normally, that is something you want to be a little nervous about because, sophomores don't have the experience. But in the case of the Edgewood goalie, Caden Kessner, young man who's played goal his entire life.
Well, I know that more than anybody because we'd be at our soccer tournaments and we'd be at our hotels, and every time our goalie stepped out of the goal, little brother Caden jumped in there and he wanted to be in the goal. And he played against some older players growing up. Even when he's a goalie junkie, he would literally offer to fill in for older teams and so forth. And he's tough. But to your point, sophomore is young to play a varsity sport for boy anyhow. But a goalie, one of your leaders on the field, that's impressive.
Think about it being the last week of the season. He's really no longer a sophomore. He played last year as a freshman.
Yes.
Now he's at the end of his sophomore year. Caden Klessner, by the way, 71 saves on the year. Talking to his dad, that ranks 4th in the state in saves. Now that's good and bad.
Yes.
That means he's been peppered with shots all season long. So, he has given up some goals, but he's gotten a lot of experience as well.
Well, I asked head coach Tim Baldwin, I said, being that he's a sophomore, does he control the defense leadership-wise? Did they listen to him? And he said, yes, they are. This year they are. Last year, not as much.
Yeah.
But the goalie, Don, has to be the biggest ball hog in the field. If there's anything that they can get, they call it, and it's theirs.
We reckon a goalie to a catcher in baseball. They control everything. They're in every play. The goalie not so much as a catcher, but he is the backbone of the team.
Yes.
He's the one. He's the one that's directing everybody where they should go. Ray, you made a very good point. In the wind, you're expecting goalies to do more rolling the ball out or kicking the ball low rather than trying to boom that kick 50 yards.
Well, what I'm looking for also, Don, we saw their shirts blowing. I'm trying to see if we see any flags and if they're which direction the corner flags are going.
Looks like it's almost crossfield, a little bit in Edgewood's favor if Edgewood is the team in red going from left to right.
So a strange thing can happen in soccer. You can play a game and you can have the wind to your back for the whole half, and then the wind can die. And the other team says, that's not fair. We wanted our half with the wind to our back.
Here we go. We're underway. 40-minute halves, and the Joppatowne Mariners on the attack going from right to left in those white visiting uniforms. By the way, Ray, full disclosure, we ought to say you are a Joppatowne graduate.
Yes,
I'm an Edgewood graduate, so let's not have any fisticuffs going on here. Let's just get it out of the way that I'm rooting for the Rams, you're rooting for the Mariners. Not really. We're both very impartial.
We heard that if it goes through 2 overtimes and a tie, you and I have a shootout.
Oh, my goodness, that could be ugly. And
Nice
speaking
shot.
of shootout, there's the shot right away, just hits the crossbar and goes on through. Would have been 3 points in football. Doesn't count in soccer.
That was a nice strike.
It was.
So I'm interested to see if Caden's going to take the kick. He is.
That's Kessner, the goalie.
Oh, no, he's getting out of the way for his. So a lot of coaches don't like the goalie to take the kick because they want them to stay right in the middle of the goal.
Good point.
But that's more of a youth thing. With these young men, they can kick the ball halfway down the field if they need to.
Just underway here at Edgewood High School, again on senior night that the seniors will remember the rest of their lives. Ray, I'm sure you remember your senior year playing and some of the things that happened that year, some of the things that you wish hadn't happened, and some of the things you're so glad to remember.
Well, these two teams, Don, this is really big to them because this is their local rival.
Think about it.
And, based on the scores against other teams and so forth, this could be a one-goal game. This could be a tie. Both teams seem like they have experienced goalies, so you would think that would help the cause for a tight game.
Yeah, it's going to be, as you said, a neighborhood rivalry. These schools, like Aberdeen, Haverty Grace, 3 miles apart. The kids know each other. They play together in rec leagues and so forth. So, more than just a game and more than just seeding in the regions. We're looking at Edgewood being a 3A school. If they can win tonight, their seeding would go. We understand they would be the 2nd seed in their region if they win tonight. So there's a lot at stake.
Well, and like the coach said, that would avoid them having to play Bel Air in the first round, which they know is a tough opponent.
Yep.
But we Don, I think you had the name of our refs here. We do,
yeah. Khalid Sogu and Owen Rixum are the 2 officials tonight.
And we've talked before about 2-man system compared to 3-man system. Tonight is a 2-man system, and that means each one has a sideline. It's a little bit harder to call the middle of the field plays, but they should be able to do it.
You really have to hustle to get that out of that offside call as well,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're lagging behind, you can't see if that striker has gotten ahead of the defense.
Well, they say an average midfielder runs a certain amount of miles. In a two-man system, they put in some miles. The referees do.
Saved by C.J. Madera the first time he's touched the ball. And as you said, there he comes to roll the ball out. So
Mm-hmm.
in some cases where you don't have wind, you might want to boom that kick, but he looked for his defender and got him.
Now I see the player throwing the ball in has like Under Armour under his shorts. Most of the players are playing without. You do have the option to do that if you want to.
It was Ryan Kleiner, number 15, the junior, tossing the ball in. Joppatowne on the attack. We gave you their records. Joppatowne coming in at 2-7. Now, last year they were 4-6-1, so they had a better year last year than they have this year so far. We understand they lost a couple of really good players.
And they also said they lost some close games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you said there was only 4 seniors on Edgewood. That's not a lot of seniors.
Yep.
So that means both teams have a young team.
Shot from distance, not a problem there for Madero to make the save. Caden Kestner, the goalie for Edgewood. C.J. Madera, the goalie for Joppatowne. This time he decides to go ahead and boom the ball out. Wind blowing pretty much in his face, a little bit left to right.
Looking for a little pass there. Oops, that ball poked away.
Nice little backward kick. Unfortunately, the Edgewood Ram was there to intercept it if you're a Joppatowne rooter. Here come the Rams on the move. That's Sebastian Ayala, number 1.
Edgewood seems to have a little bit more ball control right now, Don, in terms of putting 3 or 4 passes together.
Talking to their coach, he was telling us that, Tim Baldwin, that they're looking for a control kind of a game rather than trying to boom the ball down, looking to keep the ball in possession, limit the other teams in the number of possessions they have.
He also said they switched formation recently. Actually, the Joppatowne coach said they went from a 4-5-1 to a 4-4-2. And that means they have 4 midfielders and they have 2 forwards. And the 2 forwards have to be like you pass the ball to me, you run off of me, and I'll play it to you. And it takes a little while to adjust to a formation. Nice move.
Rams get the ball and coming up that far sideline. Kind of a chilly night here. Temperatures in the 50s, wind blowing a little bit, but not a bad night at all to play soccer. And you mentioned it, Ray, once you get in the feel of the game, as long as you're running and so forth, you don't feel the coldness. It's when you stop and stand for a while that the cold begins to affect you. We've seen Joppatowne with 1 shot on goal here already this game.
It was a really good strike from mid-distance.
It was. Just a little bit high, just went over the goalie go. Here comes the
He's
Rams.
on sides if he gets a chance in. I need somebody to crash the other side of the goal, Don. See the big space to the other side of the goal? He needed a way for a teammate to maybe catch up to him. He outrun his own teammates.
Yeah, that was Ezekiel Quarantine with the ball with that shot. You're right, he was all by himself. And a good save, though, Madera.
Yes.
Again, that's the kind of ball that looks like an average routine save, but the one that can slip through your hands.
Nice drop to the keeper. He has to use his feet.
Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be to Joppatowne.
So you asked about the wind earlier. As you can see, the ball is mostly below waist level a lot of the time here, except for a few shots and kicks. So it really shouldn't affect you too much, but it can affect the goalie's punt. It can help it, or it cannot.
That was Deo Ojo, number 20, with the throw-in.
That was an illegal throw-in. That's why they're redoing it.
Why was it illegal?
He's supposed to pull it all the way behind his head, which he did, but he's supposed to follow through in a normal motion, and he didn't follow through properly going forward. He was trying to get to the person that was only a few yards away from him, and it backfired on him.
Yep. Good call by the officials. No scores you can see. We're about 8 minutes into the game. We talked about the importance of this game. Senior night at Edgewood, you certainly want to win. It's your neighborhood rival. But again, seeding in the regions, that comes up next week as they start the playoffs. So, you want to win the game to get better seeding.
Well, and generally, if it's an odd number, just like a college league or something, Don, you have like 12 people in the region. The top 4 are going to get a first round bye.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're fighting for 5 through 12, you don't want to have to play 5 and be 12. If you can move all the way up to 9 and play the 7 seed, it's a lot better.
Here's Carantine with the ball again. Nice drop back.
So they're looking for the strikes from the outside here.
Mm-hmm.
Not really looking for the crosses right now. Rolled it just to his near defender there. Wasn't looking. Landed off his back.
Nayo Matthews, number 21, the young man from Edgewood, had the ball a moment ago. Matthews with 7 goals and 1 assist. He is the leading goal scorer for Edgewood. Here come the Mariners now on the break.
A little battle going on here on the sideline. Tangled up a couple legs.
No harm, no foul. Edgewood will get the ball.
Well, technically a foul, but not a bad foul.
There you go. No blood. We're okay. Landon Taylor, the sophomore, number 4 for Joppatowne a moment ago. That was Nao Matthews, 21, we mentioned before. Young man with 7 goals. That's a nice number of goals.
That was dangerous right there.
It was a little bit of a high kick, not called.
There's a shot.
High kick. Oh, nice block by the goalie. That ball had a threat of going over Madeira's head. He hung back, made a nice little jump, and knocked the ball down.
So I was talking to Coach Kramer from Joppatowne before the game, Don, and when he talked about his 4-4-2, I asked him if it was a flat back 4 or a diamond, and he said it's a shoehorn. And I said, never heard of that one. And he said what they do is the 2 center backs cheat back a little bit more, and the 2 outside defenders play up a little bit more. And I think the reason for that is they want the outside defenders to put a little bit more pressure on the forwards that they're marking.
Ryan Kleiner to throw the ball in, number 15, the junior. And there's demonstrating Ray exactly what you said, how he took the ball behind his head and then followed through.
Mm-hmm. And it has to be an even distribution. You can't pull the right arm back further than the left arm, or the one arm can't come forward quicker than the other one.
Battling at midfield. As you see, we're now inside the 10 minutes we played. Just about 30 minutes left in this first half. Neither team with a really good scoring opportunity. A couple shots on goal. Madeira's made a couple of saves.
I'm impressed with the power on these shots because when you're playing on grass, the ball is raised a little bit easier and it's easier to get under the ball. When you're on the turf, it's harder to lift the ball, and they've both hit like shots right at the crossbar.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting point you make. Normally you'd like to play on turf rather than grass, but as you're saying, getting under the ball is easier on grass. This field, though, just beautiful. Obviously, they play football, they play lacrosse, they play field hockey, they play all the outdoor sports under the lights here at Edgewood. So the field is just in beautiful shape. By the way, I'm so impressed with the school. Josh Clemmer, the assistant principal, who's been our host, just done a wonderful job here, along with Principal Sandra McMichael. I want to thank them. And Sarah Friedman, the athletic director, who always makes us feel very welcome. Here come the Mariners.
Good ball there. Nice turn. Turn. Yep. See, he did a little spin move there, Don.
Good job defensively by Edgewood, though, just when it looked like Joppatowne, and now they get it back.
So when you see this view right here, Don, you see the other side of the field is so open. If somebody could get the ball back to the middle, there's a lot of space there. We call that open space, and that's where you want to get the ball in soccer.
Edgewood with a throw in right down the sideline.
See, he touched the ball in the middle. That's what you want there.
Ram setting it up. You mentioned that then, just off the side of his foot and out of bounds. Unforced error.
That was a good
Kleiner with the throw.
That was a good, what we call switching fields. They took it from the left side all the way to the right side. They just had a missed trap.
I'm really impressed with Kleiner's throw-ins, too. This young man really can whip the ball Not on an arching throw. He just a nice line drive.
So interesting to the rule. He's bringing his arms back strange, and it looks like if it was a 7-year-old that was going to throw it in, they were going to do an illegal throw in, but he straightens it out as he's bringing it up,
Yep.
and then it's legal, and he, to your point, he has the power on the ball. It's like a real whip motion.
Joppatowne defense, instead of hitting it back to the goalie, just to knock it out of bounds and reset the defense.
So that left defender you're talking about, Don, with that throw, you may see him later in the game, them send him up on an important throw in the offense and try to get the ball into the box.
We talk about throw-ins almost like a corner kick. You get somebody who can really make a good throw-in, he can put the ball in position to head it in. Edgewood trying to get the ball on the attack. Joppatowne doing a good job of reversing, and now it's going to go out of bounds upfield. It'll be an Edgewood throw-in.
So you have different styles here. Nice step there. He stepped in front of the ball.
Jesus Hernandez, number 15, the junior with the throw-in. There you see Jesus. Jesus said,
Where's the ball?
Where's the ball? Come on, we can't
Even
play.
our ball boys make errors sometimes, Don.
Yeah. They don't get paid, you know? Leave them alone.
He said, I don't like playing keep away. Come on, give me the ball. Now this could be an opportunity if he can serve it. Cut back. He needs to cross, Don. He needs to find the foot.
And through just a nice, easy pickup by Madero.
I think the defender out the top there got a little block on that shot. That's why there was nothing on it.
Luke Sheffy, number 9, you saw in your picture a moment ago, captain on the team, one of the seniors. Sheffy, by the way, is one of those kids who's doing dual enrollment. He's finishing up a year ahead of time. You know, I was kind of like me. They wanted me to finish a year ahead of time. They just wanted me to leave. Not that I'd earned my way out. They just said, could you please leave? Chuck Morrison, one of my great...
Was that a GRO, get rid of degree?
Chuck Morrison said he was called in once as a sophomore in college, and the advisor said, have you considered him? Let's see if Edgewood can get the ball. Oh, that ball goes, and it goes in the goal. It goes in the goal, off of the defender and into the goal. That is Dante Collins Jr., his second goal of the year.
Is that
with
19
the goal.
or 15 there, Don?
I think it's 19.
Okay, wow. So what he did there, Don, it was really good. If we get a replay here, is he shielded off the defender just enough to get his left foot. Now he cuts in front of him.
It is number 19. The goalie comes out, and the ball hits the crossbar or the side and goes in.
Now I'm going to teach Dante something. Next time, run to the middle of the goal on that in case it doesn't bounce in.
And a tough job by Madera coming out. He was sort of caught between whether do I come out, do I lay back, and he sort of didn't either, and the ball went right by him.
Well, it's also a tough job for the defender because you don't want to foul there. And Dante did the only thing he could do. He put a little shoulder in front of the defender, and he just flicked it just past the goalie, and it went in.
So the Rams with the first blood of the night, if you will, the first goal, leading by 1-0. On senior night, Mr. Dante Collins, one of the seniors for Edgewood, making that goal.
Overlapping run, and then he passes it to him. That was a good play.
Here comes Collins again.
Now you got your offensive players trying to play defense. They must have called that out, Don.
I was mentioning about my coach who as a sophomore, his counselor said, have you considered a military career? And he said, yeah, after I graduate. He said, no, now. Leave. We want you out of here.
Look at that flick on.
That could have been a handball.
Yes.
It wasn't called. It looked like the Edgewood, maybe that hand came out and touched the ball, but they don't call it. Joppatowne gets the ball, though.
Well, they did 2 flicks in a row, and the second one almost got by. And like you said, it looked like it hit somebody's hand to change the pattern of the ball. But if it's not a hand in the air or a hand reaching out, it doesn't have to be called a handball. At a youth game, you'll hear 25 parents screaming, handball, handball, and it's not always a handball.
Kyle Coons with the kick. Keeping it low, and you mentioned into the wind.
Nice
job by the Rams. Reversing the field. Madera comes out and makes the scoop.
He did everything right there, and then he just pushed it to the goalie. He would actually be better off there just doing a slight pass or taking the shot, Don. I am not opposed to my defenders if they get all the way up to the 30-yard line, just nailing one.
Yep. You never know what happens. It might bounce off the goalie, might slip by the goalie.
That's right.
Coming up on the halfway mark of the first period, the Edgewood Rams scored there with 24:30 left in the period. Dante Collins with the goal. Dante Collins Jr. had 1 goal and 3 assists coming in. He's now got 2 goals. Big goal on senior night here at Edgewood.
Okay, it's a good switch fields. Good job by Zach Steinmiller to clear that ball. I'm sorry, Jake Steinmiller. I know the Steinmiller family. That's my sister's nephew. And he has a cousin named Zach. That's why I got the name.
The Rams take the ball away.
Oops, a little miss hit there.
Tripped himself over the ball. No call, obviously.
It's hard to run away from the ball and then stop it when you got 2 people on your back.
Rams looking for an open man. They find it. That's a nice center. Good head out of there.
Trying to shield the ball with his body right now and look for a teammate to pass to.
That's Coons, number 9. Good job by Joppatowne. From the Mariners on the attack now. 1 man to beat. Good job. Go back to the goalie, and instead of picking the ball up.
Good clear by Caden from the defense. Don, in shielding, you're allowed to use your body to block the person from getting the ball from you as long as you're playing the ball. You can't lean back into them or push them too hard. You have to be making an actual attempt to play the ball.
Mariners on the attack.
Sort of akin to a box out in basketball, just a little bit less physicality.
And unlike field hockey, where that is a major no-no to try to shield the ball from your opponent, be called with obstruction right away. It's a thing that separates the games, and the officials do a great job of keeping the rules straight.
That was one of the first times that Caden had to pick the ball up so far.
Caden Kestner, the son of the assistant coach.
Yeah, Rob used to not just referee high school, he used to referee in my futsal leagues. And it's funny, one of his son's a goal scorer and the other one's a goal stopper.
Rob Kestner, we're talking
yes,
about.
Yes.
Nice young man. We had a nice chat with him before the game.
Well, him and the head coach have played, and then Anthony Kramer has played as well. So they have experienced coaches here that know the game.
Yeah. Talking about Anthony Kramer, 25 years playing experience, talking about the Joppatowne coach, 34 years of coaching experience, including 5 years at the high school level. He's done a lot of youth league and travel league coaching as well.
Don, if I coached him and his wife, does that mean I'm old?
No, it means you're experienced. And there's a big difference. Yeah, never old.
You are a kind man.
No, because I'm much older than you. If I say you're old, what does that make me? Folks say, hey, I remember you as a teacher. You were old then. Come on.
Kids think everybody's old, though.
Oh, yeah. Remember that? Your teachers looked like they were maybe ancient, they're like 25.
My daughter is 20 years old, and she's a first grade teacher at Homestead Wakefield, and kids think they say, are you 45? She's like, what?
Thanks a lot, you little snot. Out of bounds it goes, Joppatowne's ball.
And she looks like she's 22 to a real person, but not a kid.
Not a kid. There's Kreiner again with that great throw in. Really impressed with his ability.
So we got a bit of a crowd over here, but that's why I should get to the other side as quickly as you can. You got a through ball chance there, but nope.
Edgewood has been on the attack, just not able to convert and finish the play. We talked to the coaches about that, finishing the game.
That was a nice move down the middle.
It was.
Now he's going to lead too much.
A little bit long on that lead, you're right. Kestner coming up and making the easy save. Starting it the other way.
So the Joppatowne coach said that, they're getting more experience, they're getting closer games, and, he really felt good about being in this game, and they are in this game. It's just one play separating the team so far.
Tim Baldwin, the Edgewood coach, in his third year of coaching, and he's a teacher here at the school, is Tim. Teaches English and theater and
Wow.
yearbook.
I was in yearbook. He wouldn't have wanted to teach me English. And I was a creative writer, Don. Is that a good way of saying it?
Good way of saying it. Let's see now.
Oh, there's another chance.
Oh, and it's going to, just a bit
wide.
wide. That ball was almost in. Good job by goalie Madeira to be able to cut down the angle. Don't think that ball could have gone in where he was diving for it.
No, he made him have to take the perfect shot.
You'll see it here, and I think he even touched it. It
did.
may have actually gone in that corner. Great replay. It looked like he touched it when we saw it in real life, but
I think not only did he fake us out initially, I think he faked out the refs because I think that should have been a corner.
yeah,
Because I do think he got a fingertip on
it
that.
looked like it. Looked like the ball changed its angle.
Our excellent camera crew catching that for us. Too
Yes.
bad we don't have the red challenge flag that they do in the other leagues, Don.
Yeah. Rams with that 1-goal lead. Obviously, goals are hard to come by in soccer, and especially when teams are not as experienced as other teams. So, if the Rams could get another goal here before halftime, wow.
I saw some of your last game with Bob. What was the final in that game? Because I left it. It was already 6-2.
It was 9-3.
Ah, that's a lot of goals for a soccer game.
It is, yeah. Aberdeen came back a couple of times and made the game closer than it had been. But it was a good game, yeah, good, exciting game. You're right, a lot of goals being scored.
It's a good ball, and the
he's
defender didn't
onside.
stop it.
And that's wide as well. Good job again by Madeira. You can see, upset. I had a chance for a goal.
Athletes think that they should succeed every time.
Yes.
And you're your hardest critic, and he's thinking, oh my gosh, I should have put that in.
Could have had it.
I think he just gave Mom a thumbs up. She probably said something encouraging. And
That's Nao Matthews, number 21. Again, we talked about Nao with 7 goals coming in.
wow. People don't realize how many, 7 goals is a lot of goals.
Yep. 7 goals, and they played now 11 games.
Yeah, we're not playing European Soccer League where they play 30 games or something, folks. This is a lot.
Yeah, we're reaching the last week of the regular season. Can you
Yes.
believe that? It just seems like the season started yesterday. Of course, they have the second season, the playoffs coming up. Right back in our day, back going years, you had to qualify to get into the regionals. Now everybody goes to the regionals if they choose to. You can decline if you want. Some teams have done that rather than face overwhelming odds. But now everybody gets a chance in the second season.
And I even get confused on because now they have what they call sectionals and regionals and state semifinals and finals. And you're correct. Back then, only the top 4 in each classification region. So 16, there was 4 regions. 4 from each region made it, so only 16 teams made it.
Yeah.
You felt honored just to make it. Now, to that point, you said I grew up in Joppatowne. I also grew up in Edgewood. Until I was in late elementary school, who did we fight it out for our state playoffs? Joppatowne and Edgewood.
Yeah.
And my sophomore year, we both made it to the state semifinals, but guess who we had to play? Oakland Mills and Wild Lake.
The Howard County schools
Yes.
are pretty good.
And they had a boy on Oakland Mills named Daryl G that was the number 2 draft pick in the MILS back then.
Wow.
From the Cosmos.
He was pretty good, huh?
Yes. My brother had the fortune of marking him, and people came up and shook our hands, and we lost to them 4-0. And we were like, we lost 4-0. They're like, they usually beat everybody 12-0. You guys did good.
A moral victory. Go back to, we're talking about the regions, switching sports into football. Edgewood here, back in I think it was 1982, undefeated, went 10-0 and didn't make the playoffs.
Because of the point system.
Yep.
So what happened was if you played a 4A, back then we called them double A and single A and then B and C. Now it's 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A. If you played a large school and won, you got like 12 points earned.
Yep.
But if you only played a 1A school in one, you only got 6 points.
And of course, you don't choose to play a team. You play the teams in your conference.
Yes.
And, in Harford County, they were 1A and 2A schools. So
Yes.
Edgewood being, let's see what Edgewood can do here. Oh, nice move.
Oh, bounced
with the ball.
off of him.
Oh, kicks it right at the goalie. Madeira is able to make the save. And again, the
shirt up.
The shirt up.
Dreading the miss.
Don't look at my number. It wasn't me.
Well, and to that point, Don, that's why they changed the rule.
Yeah.
Because Edgewood was one of the best football teams in the state that year, all classifications, and it just shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. That's when they expanded the number of teams that went to the playoffs, and similar to go back to University of Maryland basketball when they lost to NC State, and NC State was the only team that went to the to the Sweet 16 in those days, and they expanded as they should, allowing more teams into the tournament.
Well, I will tell you that in a case like this, when they first started the open playoff format, when everybody made it, they didn't seed it. So you could be Bel Air against C. Milton Wright, could be the best two teams in the region, and they'd have to play each other in the first round.
Yep.
And two teams would win 0-12, so then they finally got some complaints, and then they switched it, and now they seed it.
Yep. What Ray is saying is the seeding, meaning that if you had let's say a lesser record, you would be seeded lower. You would end up playing the higher seed. So the theory is that you would end up with the two best teams once all the play is done. But of course, you give the chance for that team who, let's say, suddenly catches fire, or maybe they had an injury early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ball in there. Oh, just wide. Good dive there by goalie Caden Kessner. That ball may have been able to get in the net by him had it been a little closer.
I'll tell you what, when he first left his foot, I thought that's not going to be near a chance, and then it misses the goal by a foot.
Caden Kessner, the outstanding young goalie for Edgewood, sophomore, son of the assistant coach. You'll see the replay here.
Oh, he went to his right. That's what it was.
And then the ball. Did he touch it also?
Yeah, he went to his left, and what happened there was, after the play, he said something to one of his teammates because he was calling for a drop or something, and they didn't do it. Now, see this play here, Don? He should be sliding that ball through to the forward there instead of kicking it all the way up to the goalie. They're just missing that one last connection on the passing.
Kessner gets the ball out.
He has a chance here.
Good defensive job by Edgewood as the ball was stolen by Joppatowne. Rams making the stop. Joppatowne on the attack. They've been mostly on the defense, has Joppatowne, but now they're attacking the goal.
There's a lot of little touch moves happening in a big crowd right now. They need to find an open player, and it's hard to do when you got three defenders around you.
Khalid Sagoo making the call there, the far referee. Owen Rixum, the other official.
And he's going to back him up now, Don, because he's supposed to get 10 yards, so he walked off 10 feet, and he said, move back here, gentlemen. And that last 2 yards makes a big difference because now he might be able to get the ball right over his head and drop it.
And that's exactly what he's trying.
Now, I was a little surprised by something there with the defense. The defense stood back by their goalie and allowed offensive players to be on sides. Normally in a kick like that, you tell your defense to make a wall at the 12, 14-yard line and make them have to run in on it. So I'm a little surprised by that.
Yeah, allowed the offensive players to get right on the goalie.
And you don't want that as a goalie because it could deflect off your own teammate.
Yep, the old obstruction thing where you don't see the ball clearly.
And years ago, goalie from C. Milton Wright, Ryan Miller, was a very good goalie, and I just saw him at his brother's wedding. They went to the state finals, and they did win. But they gave up 2 goals on free kicks where the ball bounced around off of defenders and went in on free kicks where he was obstructed.
Yep.
Again, being the person that's never going to volunteer for goalie, I wouldn't have to worry about that. That's a nice flick out there. Now, he should be crossing that ball to the far post.
And did not. Madeira is able to scoop the ball up.
Don, I scored the winning goal on the grass field right here my senior year in overtime, and my teammates piled on me, and they left me there and didn't pick me up and carry me off the field. as my knee was killing me, and a couple of my athletes, my kids I coach, had to come up and get me and take me to the bus. And I'm like, Coach, you forgot about me.
Yeah, that's enough. Benjamin Stoppel, by the way, number 12 for the Edgewood Rams, had that shot just a moment ago.
Do you remember you worked with Mac Lloyd?
Mm-hmm.
Loved baseball. He loved my brother. So when I scored these 2 goals, tied to win the game, front page of the Aegis, Rob Ruse scores 2 goals to lead Joppatowne to victory over Edgewood. My brother calls me up and he goes, I haven't played for 2 years and I still scored 2 goals?
Very good. Very good.
Look at that.
Oh, nice old rocket shot, just a little bit high.
Now, did you have many baseball players that played soccer?
Yeah, a lot did. Cal Ripken, of course, he was pretty good at baseball.
It worked out for him pretty good.
He was an excellent soccer player, and took the Aberdeen Eagles to a state championship in soccer as well.
Well, turnover there could cause a big problem here.
And not quite able to get that foot turn.
And you see the young man in the front middle of the goal there. When the ball is rolling away from you like that, it's hard to turn it. So he needed to just let the ball roll another step or two and then get his hips around the ball. If he chips that ball to his teammate on the far post, he's got a chance there. Yeah, that's when the teammate goes, I was open.
I was open, you didn't see me. Nao Matthews, number 21, the outstanding striker for Edgewood. Young man who hit that shot, just not able to turn that hips, as you said, enough to get it at the goal.
Well, I tell my players, you reward him with a good pass and he'll reward you later with a good pass. Set each other up. He's got some moves down there, but he might need to slow the ball up and wait for some help.
Down he goes, the ball to the Rams.
It's a beautiful campus in general here, Don. You and I have done some ball games over on the baseball fields here too, and it's just a very pretty campus.
Hard to believe this school is now 14 years old, built in 2010. Mm-hmm. It looks brand new. You walk in the hallways, and I'm so proud to be a Edgewood graduate, that what they've done with this school and kept it in pristine shape.
Mm-hmm.
To get a chance to visit Edgewood to do that. High and long, the kick. So yeah, you're right. Sandra McMichael, the new principal here in her, I think, 3rd year now, and Josh Klimmer, the AP, Sarah Friedman, the athletic director. They care about kids. That's the thing I really like about educators, when they care about kids. Talking to Josh Klimmer, he was here at 6 o'clock this morning. He's here with us right now as we reach toward the 8 o'clock hour, and he said, yeah, I'll probably be here till 9:30 or 10. Normal day.
And didn't he say he coached at Bel Air before he became an administrator?
Yeah, he coached soccer,
Yeah, that's what these people do. They give back and they give back some more. But it's a weird transition going from being a athlete to coach to administrator. Nice shot.
Boy, that's a bullet shot, knocked down by Madeira. Thank goodness for him, no Edgewood Ram was there to bang it past him.
Well, we run into many people who were coaches. Tim Lindekamp is the AD at Aberdeen now. He used to coach a lot. Brian Tully used to be a soccer coach at Seamount Wright. Now he's administrator at Haverty Grace. I ask them all the time, do you miss it? And they're like, yes and no.
Yeah.
You know.
Coaching, in many cases, is a young man's game.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you get tired of the long hours, and that's why you look at these coaches who, they're relatively young in terms of their high school coaching, but they've been coaching their entire lives, playing the game and coaching the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up now on the 3-minute mark left here in this first half. This 40 minutes has kind of flown by. It's been an exciting half. The Rams got the only goal, that coming at 24-30 on Dante Collins Jr. Had a one-time goal, beating the goalie Madeira for the goal.
Edgewood wants to get to this halftime with his 1-goal lead. You may see what we call some tactical coaching stalling. Sometimes you'll see the coach do a substitution with like 30-some seconds ago, just to burn a little clock.
Running clock, as it occurs in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
There's Kleiner with that great throw-in. So impressed with that ability.
Yeah, I think he's going to be upfield eventually doing a throw-in.
inside 3 minutes left in the first half.
And if people don't know this, Don, there's no offsides on a throw-in. So if you do have that great throw, somebody can almost take off like they're going for the long pass in football, and you throw it over their shoulder and they run onto the ball. I was blessed to have a center defender, Steve Riley, who could throw the ball a third of the field.
Yeah.
And that's how I got the winning goal, is nobody knew he could throw it like this, and we set him up and he just threw it over their heads and I ran onto it.
Not on this field. It was on another field back
It was
in the
an
day.
old grass field. We didn't have lights on.
Yep, back in the day.
We didn't have athletic trainers at the field. That's a tough ball to come out for Caden.
Yep.
He
Kessner got kind of in the wash there, did come out and sort of shield the ball away.
Well, it was a tough spot, Don, because if he didn't do it, they could have flicked one on goal. So at least he caused enough trouble there.
Rams get the goal kick coming up.
Do you know who the first school is that got lighted fields done in Harford County?
You mean lights paid for or lights that were donated?
Either one. Anything you could play under the lights on the game for. That's a nice ball.
It is.
He has a teammate.
And just a bit wide.
Yep.
Yeah, again, that's the young man we've been talking about, Nao Matthews, who came in with the 7 goals. Yeah, the Army Chemical Center at the time gave Edgewood High School its old lights. They were, going to do away with their
Wow.
night, and so we had lights back in the 60s. They were, shall we say, not the greatest lights in
Right.
the world, but we actually had night games here at Edgewood going all the way back into the 60s.
I just learned something, folks.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Now, Bainbridge had lights in the old Naval Training Center, and Perryville inherited those lights, but they were so old that they were of no use.
We, you would know some of these names, Scott Elliott, in your Hall of Fame, and other people. We didn't play our first lighted games until those state playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. We thought we were big shots.
Yep. Yeah, the advent of the turf fields, which came in as we have 30 seconds here left in this half. One of the Joppatowne players down. He's going to be able to get back up, I think, under his own power.
Now, I don't know if the coaches are on the sideline letting them know there's only 18 seconds left, but they've got to get a shot or a cross off.
Madeira.
Wow,
Comes
good
out.
save.
That was a good save. No.
But they had called them offsides anyhow.
Okay. Good sportsmanship there as the two young men sort of give each other a little pat on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Clock has now run out the time in the first half. Nothing for Joppatowne, 1 for Edgewood. The only goal coming at 24:30. Dante Collins Jr. on that one-time goal. And so right now it is 1-0 in half. Ray, what have you seen?
I feel like Edgewood's had more of the ball control.
Let me interrupt you 1 second. We talked about it being cold when you weren't running. You could see the Edgewood bench there huddled up, the non-players, the people on the bench, as well as the trainers and others. And there you see some of the folks and the fans. It is a bit chilly. We're very comfortable
Yes.
here in the press box.
Yeah, that's my friend
happy to be
BJ
there.
there in the tan sweatshirt. Graduated with him. And his brother and my sister married each other. And so the thing is, Don,
We'll take a break here and we'll come back and we'll talk about that first half in just a couple moments. But we will break for the halftime and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Well, we're back with you at Edgewood High School. Don Morrison and my pal Ray Roos. Ray, it was an interesting, fun first half, a very competitive first half. What did you think?
I felt like Edgewood had a little bit more control in the middle of the field, linking more passes to each other, but both teams are getting some shots off. I think the difference is one great play by Edgewood on a through ball, held the player off, flicked it by the goalie, barely went in. When you say barely went in, can't say any more barely than that.
Yeah.
Hit the inside of the post and barely crosses the goal line by a foot.
Dante Collins with that goal, you're right.
But now, Don, I'm thinking each team is waiting for that one more pass inside the 30-yard line to get a goal. They're all trying to shoot from further out. They need that one more pass.
Underway here in the second half. The white-shirted visiting Joppatowne Mariners now going from left to right. Edgewood from right to left as they intercept the ball and on the move. Rams of Edgewood 3 and 8 coming in.
That was a good ball.
Chance for a breakaway here.
He should be crossing this right now.
That's Matthews. Madeira comes out, makes the save. Nayo Matthews, number 21, the 7 goals and 1 assist, the junior.
I am worried about one thing here, Don, with Madeira. He likes to block the ball and then pick it up. Now, he blocked some balls that would have gone right through or past me, so I can't complain about that. But if he blocks them too far away from him, somebody's going to pounce on it, and Edgewood's got some speed up top and put it back in.
Yeah, the Rams with that 1 goal, obviously are trying to double it here if they can. Talked about if you said which team dominated, Edgewood seemed to have the ball in the offensive area much more than Joppatowne did in that first half.
And the thing about it is, I wouldn't even say they dominated it. I think they had more possession.
Yeah.
The game has been fairly even, but Edgewood's had a little bit better control of the ball.
Senior night here at Edgewood, as we talked about the 4 seniors being honored before the game for the Edgewood Rams.
Nice drop pass.
Night that they will remember, Ray, when they get to be old as me.
Yes.
If they have a memory left. My case, there's some doubt about that.
I can remember plays in sports from 40 years ago. I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday.
Ayo Awamusi, one of the seniors, Dante Collins, Ezekiel Cornting, and Luke Sheffy. They're the 5 seniors that were honored here tonight. 4 seniors, excuse me.
Actually, Don, I should say, like every married man, I can't remember what it was my wife told me she wanted me to do.
Absolutely. You better remember. That's the one thing you don't want to forget.
So they're doing some control passing here around the defense, taking it all the way from right to left, and now they're looking for, he'll probably put it back over to the other side again.
Tim Baldwin, the Edgewood coach, talking about how they like to play a control game if they can. Foul called. And a very clean game, too. You know, when you think about arch rivals, and man down a little bit, looks like that might be Matthews.
You always have to watch how you come down on turf, Don. That's the one bad thing about turf is if you plant and twist your leg. See if he shakes it off here.
Yeah, looks like he's up and under his own power. Nayu Matthews, the junior, walking a bit gingerly. Had a chance to talk to the trainers who were coming in about the same time I was, a couple hours before the game, and so comforting to have trainers medically trained, skilled, so if there's an injury or some kind of an emergency, they're right here.
Almost a handball there.
Mariners kicking in and clearing it out. Good job by Edgewood to dominate that midfield. Sebastian Ayala, number 1 with the ball.
Now you get a young man all in the left side of the hand. There it goes. He had his hand up. That was what he was looking for.
Oh, what a great defensive play by Joppatowne. Looks like that might have been number 9, Kyle Coons, diving in and making that interception.
So the coach in me saw that, Don, because I was thinking that's where he should put the ball. The young man put his hand up, chipped the ball perfectly to him, but a great defensive stop kept the goal from happening.
Corner kick, one of the few we've seen
nice
all night.
Ball.
Was a nice ball, good head, but a little bit wide. Is that the first corner kick we've seen tonight?
I
Maybe
think so.
First or second?
Maybe the second, and I think the other one wasn't nearly as good as a serve ball as that. So when you get the crowd on one side of the field, you're looking for that cross to the far post. Just the perfect spot, Don, because if it's too close to the goalie, they will come out and snag that ball.
That was Kyle Coons booming the ball out of there. The wind's still blowing just about the way it was when the game started, right to left from the press box across the field. A little bit in the face now of the Edgewood goalie.
I will say, Don, I have not seen a lot of substituting in this game. I've only seen a few, if that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the benches. They don't have a whole lot of of the kids, although they both have JV programs, which you say, well, yeah, everybody has JV programs. Not really. Back in the the day, it was hard to get enough players to field both a JV and a varsity. So it's good that both Joppatowne and Edgewood, have JV programs. Madeira, instead of trying to sort of pass the ball, boomed it out of danger.
Right. Good battle for the ball over here. You said it was a pretty clean game, and you're right. I mean, they're fighting for the ball, but there's not much dirty play.
Yeah. And again, when Havre de Grace plays Aberdeen, or Bel Air plays Seamilton Wright, or Joppatowne plays Edgewood, the emotions sometimes get the better of the players. But the players have played a good, clean game, and the officials have done a great job of keeping it that way.
So now you got a little, probably just going to send the ball out. That's what I was thinking he would do. You're kind of put in a tough spot there. There's really nowhere else to go.
Rams on defense now.
He's going to throw this ball in at the 10-yard line, and if he has any strength in his arm, if not, you're going to throw it to him and just play it right back to him.
Out of bounds it goes again. It'll stay with Joppatowne.
So when you're in this situation, you don't have a big thrower, you should be getting into a player and then back to
and
the
Ray,
legal throw.
And he just did exactly what you talked about before. That is, he didn't take the ball behind his head. He just sort of tried to place it. Not allowed in the game of soccer. So Joppatowne sort of wastes a good opportunity there on the offensive end.
I'm going to talk to some of my younger coaching friends. This young man threw the ball in like the other guy did. He kind of pulled it back at an angle. Maybe they're teaching him something these days about getting more power on it.
Boom the ball into the offensive end. Jason Pina, the senior.
So I don't know what the holdup is right here. The ball boy is over here playing with the ball, and you heard some people from the crowd go, "Ball!" Now they've thrown two in, Don.
So
you didn't get any, and then you got two.
Got two balls. It happens sometimes. It's like, yeah.
We used to let younger brothers and sisters be the ball boys, and you'd have these moments where no ball and then three at the one time. My friend that I coached soccer with at North Hartford, Tom Berg, he used to practice with our ball people, because if you're down in that really important moment, this could be a good play here if he cuts in front of him. Cut behind him.
And shot is open and just missed it. Booming the shot there was Nayo Matthews. Nayo has he's the young man that takes the shirt and puts it over his head. He's had a couple of those opportunities where the ball has just not gone exactly where he intended to go.
Well, and he did everything he was supposed to there.
Yeah.
It's just when you're coming in and he did a cut back to his right foot, the goalie was at the perfect distance, and he tried to put it up over the goalie's left shoulder to the what we call the upper 90. But it takes a perfect shot there. He wasn't getting all the way to the goal there, and he knew it, so he had to take the shot.
Rams battling, getting the ball at midfield. Now Joppatowne comes away with it. Mariners looking to try to tie this up. Only goal scored at 24-minute mark back in the first half.
So, John, we talked about this in previous games. You start to wonder at what point does Joppatowne change its lineup to try to get the time
Here
goal.
comes Edgewood. Look at the speed.
He should put it backwards. He tried to. I would have probably put that ball on the ground instead of lifting it, but it was tough just to get the cross.
Well, you saw the speed there. The young man was able to outdistance the Joppatowne defender.
And I call that spurt speed. He looked like he went from second gear to fifth gear in like 2 seconds.
Marlon Davis, you'll see this. You'll watch how fast he was able to get by.
Here comes the cross. He let it go.
Yep. Just nobody there for Edgewood to be able to convert that cross. You didn't get a chance to see the speed of the forward there for the Rams, who came down that right side. What do they say, Ray? No substitute for speed?
No, and they say you can't coach it.
You can't.
But you can certainly take advantage of it.
Here comes another corner kick, a left foot kick. Nice banana kind of a kick. That's what you're looking for, to try to put the ball out there and then
he got a follow.
Bring it right back in. Boy, and there was the left foot We were talking about that in the girls' game before this, that having a left foot and a right foot, that young man was able to boom that ball out there. Here come the Mariners on a breakaway. Good job by Edgewood to get back defensively, and now they break it up.
I like that he cut the ball back because he realized he was on a 2-on-5, but he was looking for a teammate, Don, to come through for a pass there. He's putting it in the box. Good clear out. Good hustle on both teams here.
That's Sebastian Ayala.
Wow. He's going to curve across the field, and he's going to through ball it right now.
Beautiful pass.
Nice job. If he gets in front of the ball, he can get a shot off.
Good job by Joppatowne. Good defensive play. Looked like the Rams were about to have a shot on goal. What a job by Ayala. He was able to control it all the way and then made Ray a perfect pass.
Well, he curved from the center of the field all the way to the outside, won the ball. I call it race car driving. He cut in front of his defender because if the defender's behind you, they can no longer take the ball away from you without fouling. And then he distributed the ball, which is wonderful. I'd let that go out one more pass. We got a man out here on the left side putting his hand up. Yes, he is. Number 14. He's going to serve it, but right to the goalie.
Good job of bending down. Madeira, again, you talked about sometimes the bobble. He was able to control it. That was Marlon Davis, number 14, the young man from Edgewood who made that long distance shot. It's Davis again. The two 14s.
So soccer players, if they have a choice, Don, they fight over the numbers. Do they do it in baseball too?
Oh my goodness, yes. The Ripken number, people think, well, it was number 8. Well, the Ripken number was 7. And, you know, everyone knew that when Cal Ripken Jr. came to the varsity program as a freshman, that number 7 would be his number.
So in soccer, obviously, there was a lot of people that wanted 10 for Pele. Baseball, I'm sure there's a lot of people that wanted 5 for Brooksy and whatever. You would know better, Don, DiMaggio and other numbers.
DiMaggio, number 5.
Was he 5 also?
He was 5, yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, you're right there. But Mark Belanger had the number 7 for the Orioles, so when Cal Ripken came to the majors, he took the next best number, and he made famous that number 8.
Well, in high school sports, folks, the seniors get first picks. Freshmen don't get to come in and say, I get this number.
We were talking about the number 13 in a sports quiz that we do. And,
yes.
Dan Marino said he got number 13 because his father was the coach, and let's watch the Edgewood Rams here.
He has a left-footed shot.
Just a bit high.
I think it skimmed the top of the bar.
What a booming shot that was, just over the top of the bar. You're right. Madeira went up and don't think he got a hand on it, but
he
just
couldn't have got that one if he wanted to with the pace it was. If it would have been a foot shorter, that was a very nice shot.
Here you'll see the replay, and you'll see a nice left-footed shot too. But just over it, skimmed, as you said, Ray, it skimmed that crossbar.
Was that number 14 on the right side there for Edgewood taking that shot again, or was that Dante again?
I think it was Dante Collins, 19.
He's a big young man for a soccer player.
Yeah,
he's got some strength on him.
Dante has the only goal of the night. He had 1 coming in. Now he's got 2 on the season.
Sure, the football coach is saying, why aren't you playing linebacker for me, young man? Because I'm a good soccer player, coach.
Action beginning to pick up here. You can see the urgency on the part of Joppatowne, knowing they need to get back in the game, need a goal. But Edgewood making a run.
Good clear. Nothing more you could do there.
Good job defensively by Joppatowne. Edgewood getting the throw in. It's Collins with the throw in.
So now he's looking for a service ball across to the far side of the goal. Whoa, he got a through ball there. And another through ball, Don. Now he's got to get this back to the left side. Good defense.
Good defensive play, though he kicked it over the end line. Probably you'd want him to kick it on the sideline.
He would have liked to, but he was feeling urgency there.
Just get it out of here.
Yep.
Sets up the corner kick for Edgewood.
Now let's see where he's putting that ball. I'm surprised he's not putting a little bit more on the line to get around the ball, but he wants to serve a looping ball to the far post. A little short, but it got through. He should strike that.
A little bit off the side of the foot.
Yep.
That Marlon Davis again with that booming shot.
He was caught in between there, Don. He couldn't get a complete angle for his right or left foot.
Good clear by Joppatowne. One man he's got two men on one.
If this is the same young man as before, he was fast and he got down the field quick.
Down on both knees is Kessner to make the save. Young man we talked about with 71 saves coming in, 4th in the state in number of saves. That's a lot of saves. Talked to his dad about it. He said, yeah, my son's been peppered a few times by some of the better teams we played. Oh, great pass.
Keeper come out smartly.
Yep, Madera's out there to make that save.
You ever try to play keeper, Don?
No, absolutely. Although I did I caught for a while in baseball, and I sort of equate those two. And you know, I loved catching. They called it the tools of ignorance back in my day when you put on the catcher's outfit, because you know it took somebody who was a little stupid to put that on. But you know, it's a great position in that you control everything.
It's an odd thing being able to judge flight of a ball in one sport compared to another. That's a nice overlapping
nice
run.
give and go. That's Ayala with the ball. We talked about his speed before.
These keepers have really good judgment of a flight of a ball. Like, you know, in baseball, they say the toughest ball is the one right at you over your head. If you're an outfielder, some of these long shots that they take in soccer, these keepers have such good tracking ability.
That's Collins back playing on the defensive end now. We've seen him on offense, but he's able to make that stop defensively.
They called a late call there on saying it was out of bounds. Joppatowne needs to start pushing some more numbers up, Don. They're running out of time here.
The halfway mark of the second half, the Mariners have trailed. Oh, that's got to be a push.
That's a push. And remember I told you last game, this is that tough distance, because if the other team sets up a wall, we better watch it, young man. He's deliberately kicking the ball away. That's when the referee will give you a warning.
A little chippiness there. We talked about it being a clean game, and you know.
Number 13 was like, hey, ref, did you see that?
Jason Pena says, did you see him run over me? The referee says, nope, here's the ball.
So this is a shooting distance, but see, they're playing players all the way back on their goal line. So if I'm Joppatowne, I'm taking this shot and having the other players run onto the ball.
What Ray is talking about, notice all the red jerseys back there very near the goal.
It keeps them on sides.
Nice job by Kessner to be able to make that save. That was a good shot.
If I, not to interrupt Don, but if I do one thing there, if I'm Joppatowne, I put a person in front of the goalie. I put a forward up there, and that way if it comes to the goalie's hands, you can at least jump up and try to flick the ball with your head or something.
That's Ayala who almost had the breakaway.
Good cutback and a good drop.
Ayala again. Well, he's done a great job as a playmaker. We're talking about Sebastian Ayala.
Good foot skills there in the middle of the field, and then he gets it back to a teammate behind him. This is what I call reworking the ball, Don. They brought it all the way from offense back to defense, and they trust their teamwork to do this.
And, of course, being in the lead, that gives you the opportunity. The clock is your friend. Intercepted by Joppatowne and then taken right back by Edgewood. Good passing.
Good run by the defender. What you have here is a defensive run, it's called. This young man from the back here stole the ball, and he did two give and goes to get upfield.
Matthews with the throw in.
I'm impressed with Edgewood's patience here, Don. Actually, right to the middle, but a man's coming on him. He didn't notice him.
Good job by Joppatowne to be able to come in and take the ball away.
If the play's not there in front of you, you want to pull it back and rework it. And that's what Edgewood's done a couple times now.
You see that control game that Tim Baldwin talked about, the Edgewood coach. And Edgewood intent on not just booming the ball, trying to pass the ball.
Right. So will Joppatowne push a midfielder to forward? Will they push a defender to midfield? At some point, they can't keep playing tentative, they're going to have to put some more numbers up.
You notice that clock, it just turned over the 20-minute mark, meaning we're halfway through the second half. Another corner kick coming up for the Rams. I think they've had about 4 or 5 corner kicks now. This is Nao Matthews, young man who has demonstrated that big leg that he has.
And I told you it's hard to lift the ball up in here. Let's see if you got a little bit more air that time. That's good.
Put it right there where a nice header, but it wasn't to be. Edgewood retains possession. Ayala.
And the person that took the corner kick kind of hung it over there and got the ball. They weren't really looking for him.
It was Matthews. Here's Ayala.
And the moves he has.
He does.
Blocked.
Good block by Joppatowne.
Good stop by the defender.
Rams just seem to be able to control the ball. Joppatowne is hitting that long shot, but nobody there, and the Rams intercept it and just have a dominated play here in the second half.
It's a risk reward on the pushing people up, Don. If they push people up, you got a chance here. If he stays in front, nope, I would not call that either.
No,
they called it.
Let's see, was it called? Let's see, the officials
I heard
are.
a whistle. This could be a huge call.
Owen Rixham.
I thought that they were playing pretty solid shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like the call is being made.
It's going to be a penalty kick.
Khalid Soga with the call. That was a close one. You're absolutely right. It
I
looked
didn't
like
see any extension.
No, but he did go down, and so now here is the penalty kick coming up. The pressure all on C.J. Madeira.
So everybody has to line up outside the 18-yard box, and they cannot break in until the ball is struck.
If you're the goalie, what do you do here? Do you just pick your poison and go one way or the other?
They say you should, but they're going to try to bait him into going where he wants to.
Matthews. Oh, what a
He's
save.
following his own.
Madeira, but rebound and the goal by Matthews. Matthews hit the ball. Madeira made the save, but it bounced off Madeira, came right back to Matthews, and Matthews converted the rebound for the goal, making it 2-0.
Don, that was a very fortunate situation for the young man because he was the only one that was close enough to the ball to break in on that like that. The goalkeeper was committed to the ground. Nobody else from Joppatowne could be faulted for not getting in there to clearing that.
Here comes a replay. You'll see that the kick is made, and Madeira makes a great save, but the ball bounces off and right to Matthews, and Matthews one-times it. Well, give him credit. He didn't settle the ball. He took it right out of the air and hit it where the goalie couldn't make the play.
And that's what we call a volley kick. Ball was bouncing in the air, and he really worked hard to get his leg and foot over the ball because it's very easy to get under them and sail it. It was a solid strike.
You fault Matthews because his penalty kick was right at the goalie, but then give him credit because he was able to get that rebound and then one-time it right into the goal.
Well, on the replay, I noticed that he didn't stop the ball with his hands. He dove to his right, but he blocked it with his feet. And what the shooter was doing is he saw where the goalie was going. He meant to hit it more to the right of the goalie because you have the advantage of the shooter there. You can react to what the goalie's doing.
And Ray, you talked about it, how instead of catching the ball, Madeira's been blocking the ball. Now, actually, he had really not a whole lot of choice that time.
Right.
But he blocked it. It came right back out in front, and there was Matthews. Great goal by Edgewood to go up 2-0, and now Joppatowne has to feel, Ray, the urgency.
They have to do something now. They have to try something with numbers. They have to commit. Maybe one of their better players in the back has to go to midfield. Something will have to happen.
Here's the throw in. Like Kleiner, the young man that we talked about with that great throw in. Coming up on the 16-minute mark left here in the game. 2-0 the Edgewood lead on senior night at Edgewood.
So they hold on to this down. They said that's a big win for them in playoffs seeding.
Jesus Hernandez with the throw in.
This is their 12th game, and I think to your point before, this could be their last game.
It's their last home game. They might have another away game. I'm not real sure of that. But next week, the playoffs start, the regular season coming to an end.
So they're waiting to hear their seeding pretty soon.
And right now, as we said, they have 3 wins. They're 3-8. Here's the throw-in. Nice throw-in.
I always root for the Harford County teams to not be matched up against each other in the first round. I'd like to see them have a chance to beat a out-of-county opponent and maybe meet each other further down the line in the regional finals. We get a little bit confused, folks, because this isn't like college sports where you're usually Division I for everything or Division II. It's you could be 4A or 3A in one sport, but you might be 2A or 3A in another.
Yeah, Edgewood is a 3A school, and that's the second largest of the classifications. Edgewood and Bel Air, I believe they're the only 2 3A schools in the county now. One of the Ram players down on the field.
So in a sport like football and soccer, where pretty much every county has a team, let's say there's 120 teams, the top 30 population will be 4A, the next 30 will be 3A, and so on. But when you get to sports like swimming, and even lacrosse is not in every county now.
Right.
Some counties don't have field hockey. Then there might only be 90 teams.
Yeah.
And then they break it up differently, and you might be 2A in one sport, but you might be 1A in another.
Yeah. Cheerleading is, of course, a sport in Harford County and in about 11 other counties. So, you talk about that state championship, and then you're talking 11 counties, rather than 23 plus Baltimore City. So it is a bit different.
They've often had the state championships for cheerleading. I've been at Harford Community College many times.
Yep.
It's a very, very nice venue.
We get to do our county cheerleading championships coming up next week. Excited about that. Always excited to see the cheerleaders. Cheerleading is, we think of it as a activity, but I mean, those young ladies and young men are tremendous athletes. You think about, all the stunts and the jumps and the twirls, in a very dangerous sport because you see a lot of ankles and knee injuries and those type of things.
Cheerleaders are gymnasts now.
The thing I like about cheerleading, think about them, they're spending their entire year cheering for other teams. And all of a sudden when the season is over, then they become their team themselves. So while they've been cheering for other teams, they've been practicing their routines, and now they become, a championship team themselves.
I have a big track and field background. I used to recruit cheerleaders all the time. They were acrobatic. They could high jump. They could pole vault. They can hurdle. But you don't normally see them out here on a cold night on the Edgewood field for a senior night. They're like,
I'll pass on that one. Got some other things to do. I was in the school earlier tonight, and I was listening to the cheerleaders practice. So, they didn't get off scot-free today. They did their routines
well, to your point, they're working. They're not just cheering for the teams. They're a competitive team, too. So they're practicing for their routine for this upcoming championship.
We're talking about looking for athletes. I used to, when I had lunch duty as a teacher, I would watch for people eating their peas left-handed. Because I would say, have you ever pitched? A left-handed pitcher is like his weight in gold.
Oh, that was a miss kick there off a defender.
Kestner was able to come up with the save.
Yeah. So we talked about, I think you told me you had a game earlier this year maybe, or somewhere recently, where there was an own goal. And that's when you score on your own team. Nice up defensively.
You watch that clock. It's now under 15 minutes. If you're Joppatowne, again, we talked about urgency. At some point, you've got to, as you said, change your formation and go offensively, risk reward, as you said. Rams with possession.
I was waiting to see if they did that. He didn't pull the ball all the way behind his head. Or did he? And a substitution was called. That's what it was. The referee hadn't stopped the play. And that's that little bit of stalling that I was telling you about, Don. The 2 players that came on the field came on slowly, and the 2 players that went off the field went off slowly.
Anakin Wellington with the throw-in.
Going to get a shot here.
Ayala just a little bit high and wide.
People that don't do certain positions and jobs, they question you. There was really nothing else that young man could do right there but strike that ball. He was fighting for a loose ball. He comes on top of the 30-yard line. He didn't have time to trap, dribble, or anything else. He took the strike. And it's a game of inches, Don. You missed that ball by the slightest point, and almost a corner.
Almost a corner. Goes
and the
out,
ball
so
goes a
throw
difference of 10 yards.
Yeah. So the Rams on the attack with that 2-0 lead.
That's kind of like, Don, the people that complain when the center fielder misses the catcher by a yard to the right. You know, it's a big difference, but it's hard to hit that exact accuracy. Nice pullback.
And especially, you know, the foot, the arm,
Yes.
you get a little more accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
The skill it takes to be able to place a ball with your foot, you know, where you want to place it.
Yeah, people don't give enough credit to accuracy, whether it's shooting or passing. He's going to look for he's looking for support, Don.
Like help.
Yes. Got two guys on me. I called a late whistle there. So that's what we call advantage. If your other soccer analyst was here, our friend Bob Fresh, he'd be saying that's called possession. They were going to see if Edgewood would have continued to gain an advantageous situation. Once they didn't, they called the foul.
Marlon Davis.
That's a good ball.
Great ball. Good job by Joppatowne to be able to kick it out of there. Boy, Davis put that ball right where he had to.
Yeah.
Right in front of the goal mouth.
That kind of came up on the belly of the offensive player. He really didn't have a foot to be able to get on the ball there. That was just
Joppatowne,
unfortunate.
an aborted effort there. Edgewood getting the good defensive play. Time on their side. Well, good job by Davis. He sort of baited the Joppatowne player into come to get the ball, and he passed it right by him.
Now you have a quick throw in here. Back to the player that got the throw in. Nice outlet pass.
But Edgewood just seems to have the answer. Every time Joppatowne gets a drive started, somebody from the Ram team there is to take it away. That's Luke Sheffy, number 9, and the seniors honored here tonight.
You and I both know as former coaches, Don, that anticipation is a very great skill to have in certain players. And some of these defenders seem to anticipate where the ball is going to go, the pace.
That's Sheffy.
It's a tough position here for defender. Good job.
Here's a nice job by the defender. Sheffy honored before the game on senior night.
Well, this defense of Deo Ojo, Kyle, is that Kunis?
Yep.
Jake Steinmiller and Ryan Kreiner have been under a lot of pressure today.
Yeah, that Joppatowne defense, you're right, as says C.J. Madeira, the goalie.
I mean, the one goal was a beautiful through ball, barely held off the defender. You really couldn't fault the defense or the keeper on that. And then a marginally questionable penalty kick called.
Yeah.
And
you're right. You and I, watching it from our vantage point, it looked like, no harm, no foul. It looked like the players just ran together, the offensive player falling down. But the officials called it and, give Matthews credit. Even though his penalty kick was stopped, he was able to stay right there and make the rebound.
Does that mean he gets the goal and the assist?
I think he does. Or maybe give the assist to the goalie. I don't think so. Just a tremendous play by Matthews to, not give up on it. Okay,
Yeah.
The goalie stopped my shot, and then I'll sit and sulk. No, he followed it up, got the rebound. And the thing I like so much, Ray, and you called it a volley kick, where it didn't hit the ground. He just kicked it in midair and put it right by the goalie.
Yeah, we used to practice those, and what do you call it, Don? You have like the highlight reel, like the basketball player wants to dunk, the baseball player wants to dive and catch a home run. A volley kick or a head ball are the kind of goals that players dream of.
Oh, yeah.
And that young man will remember slamming that ball in that net out of the air for a long time.
And it'll have it on screen to watch.
Yes.
Telling you. See, back when we say, oh, but I was in high school, I did this. Well, now these people have proof about it, right?
Did they even have camcorders back then?
Stop it now. They did not. You're right. If the truth be known. But you're right. And then the only problem with that, Ray, is my lies now would be held to truth if there were a camera there. You remember the time I threw that no-hitter? We were talking. Speaking of no-hitters, my buddy and your buddy Chip Riley, who is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. We're doing this on a Monday. Wednesday, he's inducted into the Edgewood High School Hall of Fame. Yeah, and he told me a story, and I had forgotten it. When he was a senior in high school, he came in to pitch hit against Cal Ripken, who was pitching as a junior. And he did. He got a base hit. I looked it up, and not only was he true, Cal Ripken was pitching a perfect game, no-hitter, through 6 innings. He had struck out 15 batters out of 18 batters who came up. And Chip Riley came up and got a pinch hit base hit. Now, the good news for Aberdeen was they doubled him up, and so Ripken faced only 21 batters in the entire game.
Right.
I think he turned out pretty good, Ripken.
He did.
Yeah. Here come the Rams, another opportunity.
Uh-oh. Okay.
A little bit wide.
Looked like it deflected off the player there, Don.
So we're talking about, things you remember. You'll go back to 1977.
Mm-hmm.
Not real good at math, but that's 40 years ago?
Yeah.
47 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So the thing is, people joke and say, well, when you put in that goal from the 2-yard line on a tap in, did that become a 20-yard line drive later? No, not always.
There's a corner kick again.
Oh, he tried to bike it. You might exaggerate a little bit when you get older to the grandchildren and stuff, but they don't usually believe us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the memory has a way of making the good things better and the bad things you just sort of forget. 7 minutes now, coming up on the 7-minute mark left in this contest. Rams.
They're still pressuring, Don.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They're relentless.
2-0. Really impressed with the Edgewood offense. They have played, really an attacking offense the entire night, especially the second half. Maybe the first half, as you said, Ray, was kind of even. But this second half, Edgewood has dominated.
Yeah, I probably would have given it like maybe 60-40 possession in the first half for Edgewood, but this half I'd give it more like a 75-25.
Yeah.
I mean, and what we call it, folks, is stepping up for the ball. Like you said, every time Joppatowne clears the ball, there's an Edgewood player flying upfield and running through the ball.
So the Mariners desperate now. They need a goal to make this a game. Right now with a 2-0 deficit, obviously it's like a mountain to climb. If you can get that one goal, then it becomes more like a hill.
And number 24 was trying to bait the referee into saying, come on, ref, that's my throw. We really need it. And now we have another illegal throw. So the Edgewood coach is going to get on this game. They're going to say, great game overall. What's going on with some of our throw-ins?
Yeah, yeah. Coaches like that. They like to have something they can complain about. We won, coach. No,
coaches want perfection.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Nice overlapping run. Now I'd serve this ball in the box to a Powell. Good block. And then I heard a mom in the stands just yell a very basic direction. She said, boys, kick it out.
Everybody's a coach, right? And everybody's a referee. You're the expert sitting in the stands.
Well, I always laugh because a lot of the players these days and their parents are more educated than the old teams were. And they know the more sophisticated comments. Here could be a play. But then when they just say something like, get it out of there.
Like you said, Ray, the Edgewood Rams seem to have had the answer. Just as I say that now, the Joppatowne with an opportunity.
A little long on the pass. Nice pass. One more. Nice shot. Okay, I like the height. To my defense, folks, from this vantage point, I feel like the fan at the Orioles game where they think it's a home run and it turns out to be 20 yards foul. But I like the height of that shot initially, just a little bit too far left.
Virang Singh, number 3 for Edgewood on that defensive play.
Oh, trying to pass to the ref. Referee says, I'm not playing, guys. I'd like to, but sometimes the referees have to really make a quick dodge to get out of the way.
Joppatowne looking for that goal that would put them within reach right now with a 2-0 deficit inside 4 minutes left in the contest.
Now you see what happens there. One player came over to get the ball, then he pretended he was going to throw it, and another teammate came and got it.
So you got 15 seconds that came off the clock.
Yes.
Ayala.
Coaches don't teach the players that kind of
No,
stuff.
it just happened. They didn't do it on purpose.
Oh, this could be it, no?
Rams just seem to have had the answer every time Joppatowne gets something started.
This should be a clear. I would just dump it downfield. And because they're pushing up, you could have an offensive chance here. Nice
Great job by Madeira. He had one chance, and that was to come out and block it, not with his hands. He was out of the box.
So,
what a play by Madeira.
yeah, you got the parents telling him, great job.
It was. He had one chance only, and that was to come out and, face your fears, so to speak. He cut down the angle, made the offensive player for Edgewood take a shot right at him.
He really came out perfectly, because if he came out too soon, the player's going to chip it over him. If he comes out too fast, the player's going to dribble around him. He kind of baited him into, are you going to shoot? You're going to come at me? And then he just blocked it. That should be a legal throw in.
Yeah, that didn't take it behind his head very far.
Okay, another block. Keeper again.
Good job by.
Just at the edge of the box.
CJ,
All these extra lines make it hard to tell, Don.
Yeah. CJ Madeira, again, young man has played a whale of a game. The only 2 goals, the one, as you mentioned, just barely inside. I think it even nicked that right upright, and the other one was on a rebound. Rams liking it. 2 minutes now left in the contest.
Yeah, they're not going to do as much ball possession here. They're just going to try to get it upfield and get it out of danger and kill clock. Oh, he got through 2 players there.
And being able to beat your arch rival, Joppatowne, being Edgewood's arch rival, on senior night, at home, on TV. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
We did it in reverse my years. We beat them on their field, they beat us on our field.
Yeah. Edgewood and Joppatowne. Edgewood, I guess Joppatowne formed in 73 when they built the school and took the southern part of the Edgewood attendance area, and they have been arch rivals ever since.
Yes.
As well they should be. Oh, nice defensive job by the Rams. Inside now, a minute left in this contest.
But I will tell you right now, Don, as a former forward and goal scorer, you think these Edgewood forwards are still trying to just kill time or put another one in the goal?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's get another goal. As you see the seconds winding down, for all intents and purposes, it looks like the Rams will get their 4th win of the year, 4-8. Joppatowne will drop to 2-8. And again, the Rams will come away with a victory on senior night at home here at Edgewood. And Ray, sometimes you see a game and you say, well, maybe the team that dominated didn't win. But I think in this case, Edgewood, especially in the second half, they have really dominated the game.
I think their stronger midfield was the difference in this game. Because every time Joppatowne cleared a ball or started to make a transition to offense, somebody in the midfield stole the ball for Edgewood.
Oh, down goes the Ram player. Let's see, the officials are going to, the clock shows nothing left on the scoreboard. Let's see if they let it go and just say, let's go to the locker room.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, that would normally have been a penalty, but they're going to say, no, the game is over, 2-0. The Edgewood Rams win it. Goal in the first half, 24 minutes and 30 seconds by Dante Collins Jr. And then in the second half at 18:29, it was the goal by Nao Matthews, his 8th goal of the year on a rebound coming off a penalty kick, his own penalty kick. And so the final score, 2-0. We've given the Mariners a goal. Our guys in the truck are being kind to the Mariners. Trust me, our final score, the Rams win it by 2-0. Ray, your assessment of the game?
I think that Edgewood was definitely the better team, but I do not think Joppatowne should hang their heads. They did a lot of good things. They got beat by 2 beautiful goals, and one coming off of a penalty kick. This could have easily been a 1-0 game, and it could have easily been a 0-0 game. But the skill up top for Edgewood was noticeable, and they put in 2 beautiful goals. Caden Kushner had a shutout, and that's something good to hang his hat on, as well as his defense. And I still think that CJ Madera had a good game in the goal. Just 2 beautiful goals.
Yeah, it was. It was a very good competitive game, as we talked about, a clean play game, a very skillful game, and one that I hope you did enjoy. Our final score here from Edgewood, it's the Rams of Edgewood winning by a final score of 2-0 over the Joppatowne Mariners. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned all year long as we bring you sports on the Harford TV. Good night, everyone.